Hi everyone, my name is Aishat Sisoho. I'm 20 years old. I am from West Africa, Gambia, Senegal, and Mali. I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York, and I am the creator and founder of Soho Gloss, which is a lip gloss business that I run. I hand make vegan and cruelty-free lip glosses. I first came up with Soho Gloss a year ago, and I was sitting in my college dorm and I was studying business. However, I didn't feel like I was getting my foot through the door. I just felt like I was going to class, taking notes, taking tests, and it wasn't enough for me, and I needed something to work hands-on to feel like I'm really venturing in the business world. So I was just sitting up one day and just Googling stuff that I can do that will make me feel like I'm actually putting in work. And I thought about, what do I like? And I like makeup and I like dressing up and stuff like that. And I'm like, I want something that's not hard to do. So I thought about what's my favorite part of makeup, and it's lip gloss. And I really thought to myself, and I'm like, but I can't make lip gloss. That's just something you buy in stores and like bigger companies make in factories and stuff. So I started researching day after day after day. And then I found, all these different websites of how to make your own lip gloss and where you get the supplies from and the quantities and the packages. And I wrote everything down. And that's when I ordered a small batch. I remember sitting in my dorm. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I ordered from this website. And I ordered a small batch where I can make like 10 lip glosses just to try it out. And when it came in, I went back home to New York, and one day I was in the kitchen. It's 12 o'clock at night, midnight, and I just started reading the instructions on the list and started making the lip gloss. And that's when I created like my first sample batch, and I took pictures of it. I went back to school. I let my friends test it out, and from there, even though I started, I wasn't confident enough to actually make it a whole. I was too busy thinking about, is it gonna turn out good? What will people think? Just self-doubt and feeling like I wasn't strong enough to do it. But then a year went by and I was feeling the same way again, like I wasn't in the business world again. So I'm like, you know what? I can't sit around and wait. And I can't sit around and think about when I'm gonna be ready. The only time to be ready is when you start. So again, I started with research, and I was breaking down prices, breaking down units, how to make this work, places. I was researching websites I can use to create my own website, knowing about shipping and its costs. Like I did all of like the little work first, and then when I had all my information together, that's when I started. I started making labels, I started ordering lip gloss bottles, ingredients, really making it my own. And that's how it began. I released the brand on May 30th, 2019. And from there, I've been, sprouting my wings and flying. When I put that first post out, announcing what's to come and seeing everybody's support for me, that's what made me confident. Having my friends and my family saying, oh my God, congrats, so proud of you. To them it's just words, but to me it's everything. When people say these small words to you, you feel like you're doing everything right. So when I first released it, and then I released the pictures and the websites, and I was seeing people actually ordering it, that's when the confidence started filling inside of me. And I was so excited. That's what, gave me the push and the courage and the confidence to keep going and to realize that this is something that can turn out big, despite how I might feel. But when I first released my brand and announced it on social media, that's where the confidence began. I felt really happy about that. I think it's definitely hard for women to start a business because, especially where you're from, if you're like me and you've grown up in the Bronx or whatever borough you're from, and you're not from the pretty side, you're from the hood. So it's like you don't have all the necessities and the tools like someone, I would say, like Kylie Jenner might have. We all know that she has a makeup business as well. But as you can see, she's born into money. And you know, it's much easier for her to start and expand her business because she has all those necessities. She has the tools, she has her mother to guide her, and the money to, you know, the money is accessible to her. But if you're someone like me, you have to get a job, and you might have to get 2 or 3 just so you can follow your passion and your business. And you have to keep working at places that you may not be 100% happy in, but you know you're putting in that work for something that you're building to create, you know, just a generational wealth for you, and a financial freedom for yourself and for whoever you're working for, your family and stuff like that. And just being a woman, you know, the world is not the best to us. We're not looked at as human beings. We're looked at as, you have to get this done, you have to get this done, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. If we think about everything that's happened, you know, as women in history, we were once property. We were once, you know, looked down upon. We're looked at as, oh, just people that cook and clean and that's it. We're not looked at as people that have thoughts, ideas, you know, we're intelligent. We have different ways to do things. We have ways to expand businesses. And I think that now that women are getting confident in themselves and realizing that the only love they can give to themselves is self-love, with that, you can go miles beyond the surface. And sometimes you feel like giving up, because I've been in that point where it's like, you know, this is just too much, it's not worth it, you know. But I realized that I want a financial freedom for myself, and the only way I feel like I can get that is working for myself. So I would go through all of the trials and tribulations that I need to get what I want, you know, despite what barriers are in front of me and what obstacles I need to jump through. I was referred to by my friends about this pop-up shop that was happening for different small businesses to come out and, you know, display their products and talk about it, and where people can buy and shop from you. And it was a challenge for me because I'm not an extrovert, I'm an introvert. I don't really talk that much. The only way you can talk to me is if you start the conversation. I'm not going to go up to you and start a conversation. So I was very scared to, you know, how do I say it? I was just very scared. I was just scared in general because I didn't know what the outcome would be like. I was just fearful of failing. And sometimes there is going to be failure in your business, whether you like it or not. But that's just a part of it, and that's just a part of life in general. You have to fail in order to succeed. But even if you keep going, you've already succeeded, even if there has been a failure. So when a pop-up shop was coming around, I was getting nervous, I was stressing out. I'm like, oh my God, I have to make this amount of lip gloss. And then I started, you know, thinking to myself and doubting myself. I'm like, what if nobody buys from you? What if, you know, this is the end? What if you go there and nobody's attracted to your table? You know what I'm saying? So I put in extra work. I got a custom-made tablecloth. I was shopping back to back to back. I even had to draw out a visual of how my table will look, just so I can have it in my mind and so that it is organized, because I'm a very organized person. If it's not organized, I don't feel like it's gonna get done right. So when the day finally came and we was getting started, I was still having those jitters, but I had to calm myself down and say, you know what, everything happens for a reason. And God is not going to give you, you know, too much where you can't handle it. He's always going to give you as much as you can handle, because he knows how strong you are. So when the day came and, you know, I'm setting up my table, once I set up my table and I looked at it, that's when I knew I succeeded, because I made myself proud. Not what everybody else around me was thinking, but I made myself proud because, you know, I did that, obviously. But just seeing my tablecloth and like all the lip glosses that I made by hand, filling up each individual bottle from like 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 3 o'clock in the morning. My mom would see me, she's like, Aisha, you need to go to sleep. I'm like, I cannot sleep unless this is done. But when I saw my table and like how it was so neatly organized and decorated, and you could just see my name, you know, I felt so good inside, and that's when I knew I overcame it. And when everybody was coming up to my table, like, I mean everybody, as soon as I did the final touches, there was 3 people next to me asking me, what is this? Like, they were so excited to see it. And like, everybody just kept coming up to my table. Like, I couldn't stay seated because it was like, it was just this crowd, and it felt so good, and it was so humbling. So when I overcame that, it felt amazing. I see a woman that's like, she's financially stable, she has her own apartment, you know, she's happy within herself. Like, I just have this picture of who I'm gonna be in a couple years, that my business will be known, that, you know, my name will be known. People will know who I am and what I do. That's what I see. That's what motivates me. What I've learned is that I can do anything, but I can't do everything. And what do I mean by that is, I'm the type of person, I put a lot on my plate. I put a lot of my own responsibilities, of the next person's responsibility. Like, I just want to satisfy everyone. And I can do that, but I have to realize that it's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? I think as women, we always try to be superwoman. We try to take on the world. And when you're doing that, you forget about yourself a lot. And the reason why it's important for me to realize that I can do everything, I can do anything but not everything, is that it's okay to slow down. It's okay to, you know, relax and just think about yourself and put yourself first. That's totally fine. Because if you're not mentally okay, health-wise and, you know, physically, how can you conquer the world? And I've also learned to be realistic. Sometimes I set unrealistic goals for myself and my business, and, you know, I see what other people are doing, and sometimes I'm too focused on that, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not them and they are not me. I need to be realistic. You know, this is the bottom. Everyone starts at the bottom. You know, it's like when you first create Instagram, nobody's blessed with 100,000 followers. We all start with 0 followers, 0 following, and that's just how it goes. You have to grow. You have to be your own, you know, you're your own everything when you're running a business by yourself. Your own manager, your own assistant, your own creative director, financial advisor. You're all these little things in one. And with that, you have to be realistic and set realistic goals, so you don't feel like you're failing when you don't reach that goal that you first had planned out. When I was first starting out, I had a person, I remember I was telling my business idea to someone, and when I was saying it, they kind of looked at me like, really? Like, that's what you're gonna do? And that's one of the reasons why I didn't start right away. And when I listened to that, I realized that's what stopped me. And I know it sounds so cliche and you've heard this 1,000 times, but sometimes the human brain, when we keep listening to that same thing, we start adjusting to it. You know what I'm saying? We start conforming to it. We start like, okay, maybe I really shouldn't be doing this because everyone is telling me not to do it. Sometimes everyone will tell you not to do it, but guess what? They don't know what's best for you. Especially if you are religious. Allah has written down every little thing in our lives. You know what I'm saying? He's already planned out everything. You have to go with that plan, you know? It's like they say, we plan and he laughs. That's how it is. If we keep listening to people and listening to their opinions and their thoughts, that's what creates self-doubt. That's what creates a fear. And sometimes fear, it's not even real. It's just this made-up thing that you've created in your head. So that's one thing I've learned from, you know, kind of disregarding people's unwanted opinions and unwanted thoughts, and just going with what I feel is right in my gut. And you know, your gut is always going to tell you how you feel, and it's always correct at the end of the day. I think it's just the people around me. For example, my older brother, Musa. Everybody know him. Mansa Musa. Musa, oh my God. Everywhere I go, people be like, that's your brother? I'm like, yes, 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 he is. And they get so excited. Mansa Musa, my older brother, he's my best friend. And he's inspired me just to I don't know why I'm crying. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm crying, but like, ooh, I really don't know why I'm crying. It's like tears of joy, I think. If he see this, he's gonna be too excited. I can't let him be excited. But it's my brother because I'm sorry. He's my best friend. Like every time I'm just going through stuff, whether it's good or bad, or I need advice, I go to him. When I first started out my business, he was telling me this is how you navigate through social media. This is how you use your talents and showcase it. You know, go to events, don't be scared, put yourself out there. He was the one that was telling me all this kind of stuff. And I trust him because he has his own business. He does his driving school. He's currently working on, you know, the Nipsey Hussle documentary. And being his sister, I see a lot of the hard work and dedication he puts in behind the scenes. And I'm just like, wow. I'm just so proud of him, and just him having confidence in me and being happy for me, and just telling me like, you know, Aisha, I'm so proud of you. You know, he tells people about my business all the time, and it's like, he just inspires me to keep going and to never stop. And even when I stop, pick up right where I left off, and don't let the battles overcome me and overcome what I'm doing. And I'm just very grateful for him and all that he's taught me from like when I was young. He taught me how to fight. Like he used to tell me, you gotta put your fists up like this. I'm like, why are you teaching me violence? But it's like, it's all for my good. He's taught me so many things, and not even relating to business, just in life in general. I'm just so grateful to have him as an older brother, as well as my parents. They're very hardworking people, my mom and my dad, and they instilled that into me and my brothers, to always work hard for what you have, and just, you know, it's you that's doing it, and just to, you know, don't let the little stuff get to you. Like just my family in general, they just inspire me just to be great, to put my best foot forward and do the best that I can. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you see your worth. That's how you see your work ethic, to know the goods and bads in yourself, your weaks and your strengths, and, you know, just doing what you do.